Welcome to another 5-minute craft, and we're going to show you basically how we create that effect on the stones. And really, there's only a few steps you're going to need to do, and that's know your base coat, know your middle coat, and know your dry brushing. So we're going to show you how to do that in probably 3 simple, easy steps. And you can take this as far as you want and blend as many colors as you want. It's entirely up to you. For me, I use maybe 3 or 4 colors just to create this kind of effect. But first of all, you've got to lay down your base coat. Get my lovely assistant. Here he is, G-Dog.
Here you are, sir.
Thank you, sir. This, I'm not sure if you get over the pond, but in the UK, we get something called cuprnol shade. This is an exterior paint that literally goes on plastics, wood, concrete. I mean, it coats everything. It's extremely fast drying, and once it's dried, it's waterproof. The downside to it being waterproof is you've really got to coat it quickly. You're going to want to get your 2 coats done kind of straight away, really. The first coat on the raw concrete is going to suck up really, really quickly. There's 70-30 mix for the first layer, and we're going to cheat. You can do it with a brush, but we're going to cheat because I got this, and this makes life so much easier. So the first coat, I'm going to load this up, and we're just going to hit it with the black. So like I said, you're going to want to do a 30-70 mix. So that's 70% water and 30% paint for your first couple of coats. And this is your dark coat to really create a nice deep base. Now, if you're not fortunate enough to have a sprayer, you could use a compressive weed sprayer. You know, the one you pump up and down.
Yeah.
Like one of those. We've got one of those. Or this paint will go through there. Or
a brush.
What?
A brush. An old-fashioned brush.
Yeah, we could just do it with a brush. But we don't need to do it with a brush. And there's no skill to this part. You just squeeze the trigger or dip the paintbrush and slap it everywhere.
Okay, Adam, you've gone from a sprayer to a brush.
Yeah, I needed to brush this bit.
Okay.
Had to use my spider senses and...
Yeah, so I'm just using the last bit of the pot.
I'll tell you what, that two-tone does come out well with a spray though.
Yeah, well, you get this slightly absorbent areas.
And then when you brush it, you get this really dark.
Yeah, and I'm just literally just using the last bit in the pot. And just kind of... find out where it looks more like a run than it does anything else, so kind of get rid of the runs. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add the next medium colour, so just a tad lighter than grey. And with this we are going to be using the brush. So we've gone from like a black ash and now we're just going to an urban slate colour. This is just to kind of really add that rock complex into it. And again, all we're doing is just going over it. Dipping it into your pot, dragging off as much excess as possible, and just lightly scuffing the tops of the rocks. And that way, it's just building up these layers now as we're making our way around.
Right, while Adam's just finishing off doing the other bits, I want to show you what he's done. So he's done his spray coat, which was a 30-70 mix. Now he's putting what we class as the top coat, which is just paint on its own. And you can see what a difference it makes on the rocks. And this is a happy man painting.
It's good to get it a bit done. been naked for a few weeks now, so it's a great opportunity to get in here, show you guys how it does. And as you can see, I am literally just slapping it on and just not burying it into the texture too much, so you're still leaving quite a lot of base coat. And just lightly go over it. Heavy in places, lighter in places. Yeah, there ain't no right or wrong. We're live?
We are.
Excellent.
What are you doing now?
Well, so this is, I basically mixed a little bit of white in with the slate to make an even lighter grey. This is more like a primer battleship grey colour, I guess. Flies. Right, I'm taking as much as I can off the brush, and with this, I'm just lightly scratching the surface. Not everywhere, just the real kind of high peaks. I always say to people, you know, kind of imagine where your sun's coming from.
Normally his house when he comes to mine.
Yeah, and yeah, just literally lightly drag. You won't need a lot for this. You can literally run the brush dry just to really kind of...
Does make a massive difference.
You see how it picks up all the lines of the concrete and the brush strokes, which, you know, really does come through quite organic.
And if you do put too much paint on, let it dry and you can go over it again.
Yep.
And there's nobody can tell you it's right or wrong. Only you will look at it and go, oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, so basically I'm just going around anything that's kind of high, I'm just giving it a bit more of an accent. And stuff like this, I'll wait until the brush is quite dry, and I'll come back over some of the areas and just use the drier brush with the same colour and just feather a little bit more out. When it's quite loaded, I'll hit all the spots. I kind of want to be quite light and heavy. Don't overthink it. I think that is half the problem. People trying to overthink this technique.
Is pressure anything to do with it? Are you putting quite a bit of pressure on?
When your brush is first loaded, you want to be cautious of the pressure, because if you've got quite a lot on it, the moment you put pressure on it, it will kind of hit that area quite hard. And then as the brush is starting to get that kind of very little paint on it. So that's why I was going to say, you then come back to like this edge here, and I've used quite a lot of the brush, but now because I can go quite heavy on it,
pushing hard there,
but I'm getting very little come off it,
right,
which then creates that nice
kind
of faded technique. So yeah, I think the only kind of skill you need is to know when's the great place, when your brush is ready to kind of hit a softer area. And this would be really light compared to some of these areas, because the more paint you have on, the lighter obviously it's going to be.
So you could do this technique 2 or 3 times with the same colour paint?
Yeah. I mean, you could you could do this multiple times with the same colour. Once it's dried, you can go back over it again and hit it even lighter. If you wanted it really light, you simply just dip your brush more.
Just put more paint on your brush.
And that'll give you the heavier and more lighter texture. All right, so there you go. Now what I'm doing now is the same colour, but I'm just taking on a little bit more of the corners with it. I'm literally just using the corner of my paintbrush and just adding a little bit more in a few areas. And again, this is all down to personal preference. You can take this as far as you like. It's just adding that little bit lighter where it kind of fades away. You're just adding a tad more onto it, just to kind of bring that rock kind of coming out even more. Now you can add another color on this. You can lighten it up even more, and that will then create an even lighter texture. But really here we've only used the kind of, well, 3 colors: the dark, the medium, and the light. And it's a really easy way to think of it is dark is heavy, medium is medium, and light is light. So the lighter you go, the less you put on, the less pressure you put on to really kind of accent and bring it out. So there you go. In the words of great Bob Ross, happy little accidents. And that's all you need to do. Go nuts, go crazy, mix colours. You calling sheep?
Yeah.
This video has been super cool. Then hit the subscribe button.
Hit the like button.
And the notification bell. And I'll see you next time.